I'm Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
You're Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Sens fans? Welcome back to another edition of the live watch party with the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm your host, Jack Richardson, set to bring you reaction tonight to the Florida Panthers visiting the Ottawa Senators in the second last home game of the season, last home game of the 5-game homestand for the Ottawa Senators. A crucial stretch. They're 3-1 on it so far, a chance to go 4-1 on this homestand. A massive game. Yes, the Panthers are hurt, but injury news is more on the positive side for the Ottawa Senators. Thomas Chabot miraculously playing tonight, 17 days after breaking his arm. We'll dive into all of that. Want to let you all know, as you know, that this episode is brought to you by our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Check them out at 779 Bank Street, right in the heart of the Glebe, and take the Sens shuttle round trip to the CTC for just $18. One home game left this regular season next week against the Leafs, hoping for more games in the playoffs because tickets for all of those games and that home game next week against the Leafs are available at GlebeCentralPub.com. Check them out right in the heart of the Glebe. The vibes are free at the GCP. And like I said, folks, the news of the day for the Ottawa Senators, it's felt like the news of the week, even though they were playing. Thomas Chabot is back in the lineup. The injury bug had been absolutely ravaging the Sens for weeks. They're starting to get some bodies back. Jake Sanderson back in the lineup. And then obviously Tyler Clevin goes down, but you get a bit more familiarity with Sanderson, Zub, Spence, Matt, and Palo. But then all of a sudden, here comes Thomas Chabot, who was originally ruled out for 4 to 8 weeks with a broken arm on March 23rd in New York. And he's back, man. He's back. He's battling through somehow, some way. He's healthy enough to play tonight. We'll get into all of that. I will have Pilsy joining me in the first period. I know the boys broke it down today in their show in the today's episode, but the obvious headline here is that Thomas Chabot is back and feeling good. It looked good in practice. He was shooting the puck early. I know we were all surprised to see that a couple days ago, but I'm even more surprised that he's even playing tonight, him taking line rushes and everything, because they make no mistake about it. Jake Sanderson's the top dog on that back end. But Thomas Chabot makes them a deep and dangerous back end and a team in general. He is a key part of this team. Their record is not flattering without him in the lineup. They're 11-11 overall without Thomas Chabot. So having him back is definitely preferred. Eats a lot of minutes back there, plays in all situations. And you got to think if he's good to go, he said it himself today, then he's good to go. He's absolutely good to go. And this is a big game. The opponent is not as difficult. I know it's the Florida Panthers. The Sens are 0-3 against them this season. This is a broken, checked out, get me to the summer team. I believe that. I said it last time they played, but I believe it still. Let's see how the Sens can fare against them. For our friends that like to partake in the odds, and brought to you by our friends also over at FanDuel, I want to note this because the Ottawa Senators were about minus 340 to win tonight's game, which is remarkable. That's that's the line you start to see for those who don't really participate in gambling that often. A line like that, minus 340 favorite in a hockey game, is something you see more like if a team's up by 3 goals or up by 2 goals or something like that. Like that's when they're that favored. So the fact that the Sens are that favored right out of the gates speaks to the amount of injuries on the blue line, on the forward core for the Florida Panthers. They are very beat up. A lot of guys missing. Matthew Tkachuk is healthy, but he is not playing. He is expecting the birth of his first son or child. I don't know if it's a son, so congratulations, obviously, to Brady's brother. Brady will be an uncle soon, and that's why Matthew Tkachuk is not playing tonight. We will not see the head-to-head matchup with the brothers. But like I said, that by no means should say that Thomas Chabot should take it easy. Or sorry, not Thomas Chabot. I'm watching his highlights here. That the Ottawa Senators should take this team easy. They know that. They laid an absolute egg in Florida a couple weeks ago. They owe it to themselves. They owe it to the fans. Whatever you want to call it. They need to have a big game here and prove that they're okay to go and that they can handle this Florida Panthers team. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's, this is a much better team, whatever, how bad the Panthers are. They need to go get 2 points. However it happens, 2 points are key, and we'll get there hopefully by the end of tonight. But the schedule for the Ottawa Senators is much lighter in these last 4 games than it had been. This is, like I said, the final game of a homestand that included the Buffalo Sabres, Minnesota Wild, Carolina Hurricanes, Tampa Bay Lightning, and now wrapping up with the Florida Panthers. And that's not an easy schedule. That's not an easy ride. You can even look at it like at the beginning of the season. You probably knew that was going to be a hard one too. You probably would have just switched the Buffalo Sabres and the Florida Panthers as difficult opponents, but that flips anyway. 4 of the 5 are in a playoff spot, top of their conferences, respective divisions, whatever you want to call it, not the Florida Panthers. So this is an easier one. Got the Islanders Saturday, the Devils on Sunday, and then, like I said, the Leafs next Wednesday for the last regular season game at the CTC. They're on the road this weekend, but all those teams are not in a playoff spot as we speak. The Islanders are 3 points back of the second wildcard spot, which is the Sens, and also 3 points back at the Philadelphia Flyers in the third Metro. So that game is probably their last playoff-style game, but that still doesn't mean, like, there are still 8 points available in these last 4 games. I think to officially clinch, the Sens need 6, but you'd like them to get as many as they can. I obviously don't want them to have to get the 6. But that's where we are, folks. That win on Tuesday was massive. The win on Sunday was massive. Every win in the last little bit has been absolutely immense for this team. I'm expecting a very similarly locked-in effort from them that we saw in the third period. But I will say, I maybe a prediction for this game. I think it might not be as high scoring as we think. Like, the Panthers are still the Panthers. I don't care who's playing for them. They don't give up a lot. They don't give up a lot of goals. I know they might not be that good this season, whatever. But I'd expect, when they play the Rangers and the Canucks and the Flames, kind of the lower teams in the league this season, they're pretty low scoring games for the most part, right? Like they get to their game defensively. But then again, maybe it is an offensive explosion and I don't know what I'm talking about. There's Donovan Sabrango, former Ottawa Senator, obviously, on the ice. And they've still got some guys, Sam Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe. Like, obviously these guys are cup champs. They know what it's all about, and they're just counting the days here, getting a full summer of rest, and this is a team that will be back, no doubt, in my mind, the Florida Panthers next season when they're healthy and rested. But as of right now, their season's ticking down. They are obviously officially eliminated. A lot of guys from their farm team up in this game, so we know those. We know those games as Sens fans. It wasn't that long ago the Sens were playing in all these games, and guys still have things to prove. They've got milestones to hit, so it's not like they're going to be out there not trying. So let's make sure, if you're the Senators, they need to be locked in here because, again, they are 0-3 against the Panthers this season, all regulation losses. Nothing really to hang your hat on right now. They need to make sure they're getting 2 points out of this game. This can't be one they let slip away. I personally think it's a textbook trap game after the emotional high of Tuesday. You've got Saturday looming as, like I said, the last big head-to-head game where it's going to be playoff-like for the Islanders. They'll be desperate. So I would expect that this is going to be the trap game for the Ottawa Senators left on the schedule, if there would be one. Obviously, the out-of-town scoreboard is of utmost importance in general, but I'm not going to be looking. I did it Tuesday. I see it. I see the scores, whatever. I'm not going to mention it. That's my vow. Talked to Pilsy about that last stream. I am not mentioning the out-of-town scoreboard because I don't want to put that out there. If the Sens keep winning, the Sens will make the playoffs. That's all that I need to know. All we all need to know. They need to go 3-1 in their last 4 games to make the playoffs. That is the goal, and it starts right here tonight, a 4-game stretch for the Ottawa Senators. And it could be less than 3 wins. If they get some help, it could be less than 3 wins. But they're in a great spot. Guys are getting healthy. Guys are feeling good. And let's see. I'm looking for a big game out of a lot of guys. Just keep it rolling. That's all we need to see for the Ottawa Senators. Linus Ullmark gets the start again. And I think we got the Canadian anthem going on here. Like I said, Pilsy will join me momentarily, and I'll take a quick water break. Looks like the boys have started to grow playoff beards. You can see Brady got his little scruff going. I like that. Started early. When they're must-win games already, you might as well, if you're in playoff mode. No harm in doing that. Sens in their red jerseys. I got mine right up here. And the anthems are over. We'll do our best to let you guys know what's happening during the play. Pilsy and I will sync up our games so we're at the same spot and we don't overreact and ruin it for one or the other. We'll line up those and you can know what time it's at for us. Probably join me right after puck drop, just as usual. And there's Thomas Chabot, first game in 17 days. March 23rd against the Rangers, Thomas Chabot played. And that's when he broke his forearm, and he is back. He's got some sort of wrist apparatus on his elbow pad, it looks like, but not really much, honestly. I thought it was a bit lower on his wrist that he got hurt, but doesn't appear to be the case. Chabot always has the wrists a bit exposed on his gear, and there's Dylan Cousins for the opening draw, and the puck is down, and here we go. We have a hockey game set, and it's an early whistle. Panthers scored 8 seconds in Florida last time these two teams played. And we're 6 seconds in with a whistle, so that's good. With Chabot, they are much better, clearly. And there's another opening draw, and the Panthers win it again and get it deep. And Tkachuk, Cousins, and Gregg are out there for the Sens with Zub and Sanderson against the Panthers' top line. There's a save, or no, that one went high early for the Panthers. Got all forwards healthy, almost healthy on the back end. Tyler Clevin, the only injury now with Thomas Chabot's return. He's paired with Spence. It'll be nice to get some consistency in that top four and on the blue line. Here's Amadio on the puck. And there's Chabot over to Spence. Got blocked in front, didn't get to the net. But it's got to be another game of playoff intensity for the Sens here. And there's another whistle. Offside, maybe. And here is Brandon Pillar, co-host, Locked On Senators podcast. Pillsy, how's it going, man?
Good, Jack. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm excited to see Thomas Chabot. I'm excited to see a healthy top four for the most part.
It's crazy. And especially we're winning the health battle in this one up against Florida by a wide margin. They're losing guys. We're getting guys back. You'll love to see it.
What a feeling. And we'll just line up here. So I'm at 18:27 right now with the clock running.
Okay. I'm at 18:25.
Okay. So we're probably right on the mark.
Yeah. You might be a second or two ahead of me. They got the 50-50 up now. Allmark just gave it away.
Yeah, okay, I'm a bit ahead of you. I'll pause for 2 seconds. 18:10.
Okay. I'm at 18:05 now.
Okay, I'll let you know when I am. 18:05.
Wait, sorry. I paused at 18 now. 18.
Okay. 18.
Okay, there we
All
go.
right, we
figured
did
it out. Here we are. Let's
All
go.
right. I think this is an ultimate trap game, Pillsy. I'll start right there. I don't know if you checked out the FanDuel odds. I think I put it in the group chat. The Sens were minus 340 when I checked, which is remarkable for the start of a game.
Insane. I can't remember the last time they were that favorited. And this is the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Now, of course, you're at home. They have all those injuries, but that is still crazy.
I mean, but Bobrovsky's playing. I know he's having a bad season, but it's Bob. He could turn it on, right? I don't know, man. I'm not complaining. And I agree that they should be heavy favorites. It's just that's a heavy favorite. That's
yeah. I that juice is not worth the squeeze. I did not put a couple shekels on that on FanDuel. Again, not saying we don't believe or think they should or can win, but that is those are some crazy odds.
I described it as that's kind of the line you see when a team's up by 2 or 3 in the middle of the game. That's how significant of a favorite the Sens are for those who weren't familiar, I guess, and follow that stuff. But nonetheless, it just reiterates that the Sens need to win this game.
Yeah, these 2 points are big, and Florida's had this team's number for so long. Now you've got a chance to take advantage, flip the script in your own barn. Final time of this season, wearing the Reds. Let's send these jerseys off with a bang. Have they announced if they're going to do alternate jerseys next year, or do we know anything about that?
I'm sure this is going to continue. Yeah, they wore these enough where I'm like, this can't just be a one-off this season. So because it's not like a league-wide same. Yeah, it's not like a league-wide reverse retro thing, right? So
yeah,
I think they'll keep them, and they should. I think they're great jerseys.
Yeah, I like them.
The Sens record in them to start the year was not pretty, but they've really turned that around, I think, overall, which is great. And like you said, this is a team that they have not had any success against this season. And here we go, 2-on-1.
Let's go.
Ridley Gregg.
That's your guy, Jack. I know. He's your pick for tonight.
Such a heat check for me, because if you follow me on Twitter, I like doing little predictive tweets. Let's say I want to see a big game out of insert player, and they've been hitting when I've been putting them out there. So Ridley Gregg with an early 2-on-1. It doesn't necessarily need to translate to a goal or points for all, as far as I'm concerned, but it's nice when they put a goal in. And I think it started with Zetterlund against San Jose when we were in attendance. That was my first go, and I think I've had like 3 that have kind of hit, which is nice.
Yeah, I just assumed, Jack, when you a bit of a break here. Nice, good job, Lassie, breaking that up. I just assume when you tweet those, you already have a drafted tweet of Timothy Chalamet in Dune ready to go, scheduled for after the game too.
I've got it at the ready all the time. Like it's and I've started doing it midstream because I'm so excited now about doing it. But and that was a good start. Ridley Gregg getting a 2-on-1. I mean, that's a good play by Brady at the end of a shift too. To get him,
I thought for sure he was going to score there. It looked like a good chance.
It really did, yeah. The disher, Brady Tkachuk, with 4 assists, a career high on Tuesday against Tampa.
Yeah.
Remarkable performance. That third period was awesome. You know, we talked in the first period. It was a very slow game. It was very, tight checking, playoff style hockey game, and the Sens just took over in the third period, which was awesome.
Yeah, so let's hope they can get off to a better jump here, because if you'll remember last time these two teams played, Florida scored 13 seconds in, or maybe even less, 8 seconds in. I think.
Yeah, they were up 2-0 a minute into the game.
Yep. So let's hope the Sens can get a jump here.
So this has been a better start already, at least.
Definitely.
Shabbat Spence, getting a look at them there. I'm going to love that pairing, I think, the longer we watch it.
Yeah, I mean, anyone Spence plays with.
Yeah, and Shabbat for that matter.
Good. Yeah.
There's a nice play by Amadio. Sanderson. Just high and wide. And obviously the Panthers are just ravaged with injuries, even more than when they played the Sens. Was it last week? It was.
March 31st.
Or March 31st, so 2 weeks ago. Here's Zetterlund.
Okay, nice.
Draws a penalty at least.
Yep.
Nice play by Zetterlund, who got the monkey off the back in the last game too, with a huge goal in the third period. So
needed that, yeah.
Well done by Zetterlund, drawing a penalty there.
You know what I'd like here from Travis Green? Put the second unit out. Zetterlund drew that penalty. Give him a bit of a reward. Let that second unit start. He just scored his last game. He had an assist on the power play earlier as well. Like, I wouldn't mind just second unit right out to start here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
There's Forsling in the box. You won't catch me feeling bad for their only main defenseman being off the ice now in Forsling. It was a pretty nasty trip, but yeah, top unit gets the start here. Power play has been hot. Power play has been heating up a little bit lately. So 2 goals in each of the last 2 games. So let's see if they can stay hot.
Big face-off win.
Yeah. Oh, nice save.
I like that from Timmy.
Yeah, 100% we do. I'll always take a shot like that from your best players, because he's their top goal scorer this season.
Yeah. And he had the lane there. I like that.
And he also had Cousins back door. Like that was a heat check for Tim Stutzla.
Yeah.
There's Sabrango.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
A little sloppy there.
Yeah. They're a frustrating top unit, I find, because when they look sloppy, they look really sloppy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. I'd get unit 2 out probably right
Yeah.
now.
I think they'll give him one more chance to break in here.
Yeah. Batherson through the middle. All right, there we go. It's a good entry.
Yeah.
Sanderson. Oh, he scores. Let's go. Drake Batherson, man. Stay
All
hot.
right. My locked on player. Let's go.
How about Drake Batherson? Little tip in front. And that's why you keep the first unit out there, just like we were both just saying, Pilsy.
Yeah, exactly.
1-0 Sens. Drake Batherson on the board.
Whew.
I don't know what his stats are. I'll look this up. You guys probably dove into it today a little bit, but he's obviously just setting career highs across the board off his leg and in.
Yeah, he does a really good job of just camping in that spot off to the side of the net. And you can ask Tristan Jarry about that. It's impossible to stop.
Oh,
yeah, that was
right
going
off
wide.
him, off the pole. I think so too. Another assist for Brady Tkachuk.
The disher.
The disher all of a sudden on the Sanderson shot too. So good start for the Sens. Power play goal.
Yeah, we needed that. Because that'll get that crowd into it too. Martian texted our group chat. He's at the game and he said, good crowd tonight. So that'll get them going.
And as it should be. It's a beautiful day here in Ottawa. Windy, but it's like 15 degrees. It's still light outside, which I'm getting used to starting these streams, right? Like when the sun's still setting. That's playoff hockey. Nothing better than the CTC in April. So that's a great start. That place should be rocking. Second last home game of the year, regular season.
And I believe I saw they were doing $6 beers at the beer tent. So hopefully people went early, get a couple beverages in, and you're feeling good.
That's absolutely going to get the people fired up on a Thursday as well.
Yep.
So that's a great start and good boots on the ground. Early report there from Martian, which is awesome.
Yeah, usually Martian tells us who he likes in warm-ups. We didn't get that report this time.
Oh, there's a chance for Florida. Nice save by Olmark. There we go.
Okay.
Good pad save. Linus Olmark is really dialed in.
Yeah, and they've been doing recently, Jack. I don't know if you noticed this, but he hasn't been practicing the last couple times. And
was he not out there today?
No, he wasn't out there today again. Which, you know what? If that's what he needs, and he's like, look, practice doesn't help me, it just tuckers me out, or I just want to be going for the games, whatever. Like, it's all good.
Hey, I'm in the boat here with Olmark at this point where whatever makes him feel good and at his best, he can do whatever he wants, because when he's at his best, he is a difference maker for these guys when they're in these tight games and all that. So whatever he needs. And here's Batherson behind the D. Timmy?
Oh.
And here they go. They're humming now. Good pressure, Giroux. Yep. Oh, the post. Look at this pressure, man. I shouldn't have called this a trap game. I know it's early and like a lot of hockey left, and I'm not trying to guarantee anything here, but I think this is a really good opportunity against a team that plays well, even like they've got a good system, hard system to beat, even though they don't have the guys right now, just to fine tune things and make sure you're in a good, because they need points. They're desperate. They haven't clinched yet, and they won't clinch tonight with a win, the Sens, but they're in a great spot that you just want to feel good about your game.
Definitely.
And I think this is a great team to do it against.
Yeah, but when there's so many injuries, you can good save, Bob. You can get kind of lulled into the idea that, hey, we can beat these guys. This should be easy. So I get what you're saying.
But I mean, this is
great pressure here.
Great pressure. And Shabbat and Spence are going to be a lot of fun, man. This is a great pairing.
Yeah.
Cousins moving in.
Oh, there you go.
Oh. There's Ridley Gregg in the corner.
That ref's got to get out of the way. There we go.
So Brango at a 2-minute shift.
Ooh. Yeah, we can expect to see him a bunch with the way that decor looks.
I know. And good for him, man. Honestly, like I know he's not having the best statistical season with the Panthers. I don't think anyone is. But what an opportunity, though. Be in that
Big
locker room around that culture for your first real shot in the NHL. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's a good kid. So wishing the best for him. Would have liked for him to be in Ottawa, especially with all the injuries to their defensemen. But
here comes the fourth line, Fogle. And they're right back at it. All of a sudden now, Matt and Paolo and Lassie Thompson is our third pair, which is great because loved their game. They did what they could in a really tough situation, but it's obviously a much better suited role for those guys.
Yeah, and that's where they should be. And I mean, that's still a good role for both of those. I think Lassie Thompson played most of the year in the AHL. Matt Paolo was a healthy scratch for weeks, so I think they're both happy with that.
Good stuff in the neutral zone. Shots are 7-2 early here. 1-0 Sens. First period's already flying by, though. 8 minutes left.
Big time, yeah. And the Florida Panthers started off with some pressure, but it's been all Sens the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the kind of like the Carolina game, which I know was tighter, but the power play just went right to their legs, it looks like. And here they go again.
Yeah, just hold that. There we go.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of games for us to keep our eye on, but
are we watching the out of town scoreboard tonight, or we got the blinders on again?
I put it like this because I'm seeing it. I mean, you can't not see it when TSN throws it up. I'll see the scores here and there, so I'm paying attention. I'm not going to mention it though. I'm not going to mention who is up, who's losing. I'm biting my tongue every time because it doesn't matter if the Sens keep winning. So that's kind of our MO on these live watch parties down the stretch here, Pilsy.
Yeah.
I was ready to get to a spot, and I still am, if need be, to watch a game on an off night for the Sens that we need a good result in. I'm down for that, like maybe a clinch night. Who knows? I'll do that. But as of right now, it's all about the Sens winning. They go 3-1 down the stretch. They are in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no one can kick them out if they're able to win 3 games here of the last 4. So
6 more points is the magic number, I guess you could put it that way. So
I would love for them to get 100 points even, though. Just win all the games. Then don't worry about it.
See, my goal, my idea, I'd love if they didn't have what am I trying to say? I really don't want that last game to count. I want this weekend to be, we know what's happening. God, yeah. And it's not because I'm scared of the Leafs, because I'm not. They are, I mean, the Sens have walked all over them in the last 2 meetings. Hasn't even been close. But it's for more reasons than just I couldn't stand having that game matter. But I want the guys to be able to kind of rest a little bit if they're going into the playoffs, because you don't want to go right to game 82 if you want. And I think that speaks to Thomas Chabot coming back a bit early. That's how I read that. I'm sure he's not 100%, but Tim Stützle's not 100%. Jake Sanderson's not 100%. Brady Tkachuk's not 100%. No one is at this time of year on any team. So I think them battling, I saw some people just maybe being a bit worried that he's rushing back. But in my opinion, these games you want this game to be more important than next week is how I see that.
Yeah, and that's fair. And you know me, Jack, I'm always a cautious guy. I wouldn't have been upset if they waited for the weekend, because that's a bigger game really up against the Islanders. But if you're able, the thought process would be, let's get them in as soon as possible, get those points as soon as possible. Then maybe games later on are less important. Then you can rest them then. I don't know. And a bone is certainly different than most body parts. Brandon Pillar, not a doctor here, but if the doctors are clearing him, it's not like he's going to tweak his bone or, pull a muscle or something. Unless there's some sort of impact against it, he should be fine. And I assume he's probably got that fancy brace on still. So that you got to trust the Sens medical staff here. If they say he's good to go, all right.
Yeah, obviously you got to trust the doctors here, and they all know what's on the line. The team wants to win, whatever. But I also think they're really flashing the out of town scoreboard shamelessly here.
Good luck ignoring it.
I'll put it this way. If the Sens win tonight, though, Saturday is a little less important for them,
Yes.
if that makes sense. So I think that has to be the mentality now with where they are. They're 3 points up on, yes, 4 teams, but 3 points up. They've got the tiebreaker on basically all of them locked up already. So those teams need 4 points, and there's 4 or 3 games left in a lot of those cases. So the further along you march, the harder it'll become for those guys to overcome you.
Yeah, that's fair. And some people were saying it's kind of interesting that he's coming back tonight, especially when you think of like Florida as a chippy physical team. So that might be a matchup where you're like, hey, let's maybe not risk it up against a team that likes to mix it up. And they got guys that still will do that in Bennett for sure. I guess less than usual. No Brad Marchand, no Matthew Tkachuk, but that could have been the thought process. But hey, if I can get Thomas Chabot back in the lineup, I want it sooner rather than later, selfishly as a fan. So I'm down.
And I never want to judge, how people look in practice, specifically when I see it through an iPhone camera, but yeah. I watched those videos a lot when he was skating around that first day in the yellow jersey and he was shooting pucks. And like my original reaction to the first video I saw was he was stick handling. And I think that was Saturday.
Yep.
Oh boy. Good play by Greg. There we go. And my initial reaction was like, "Oh, he's stick handling. Like that seems significant for an arm injury to be handling the puck." And then the next one I saw, he's ripping it, and I said, "Wait a minute here, that's even more significant." And it didn't look like he was in any kind of discomfort or limited at all. So kind of had a feeling he was feeling all right. He just got a snow shower there.
Yeah, shout out Thomas Chabot. Shout out the medical staff. Incredible, he was able to come back this soon.
It really is, and it just shows. Oh, big rebound.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Just shows the desire to play at this time of year for a guy, especially in Thomas Chabot, who has seen a lot of hockey here with no playoffs and meaningless games at this time of year, that he's hungry for this. So it's great to see.
Definitely. Yeah. And he's had some bad luck getting injured in the end of season. So he definitely doesn't want his season to end like this.
Nope. And there's a bit of pressure for Florida and a good deflection up high. 5:12 to go. I'm curious to see the
yeah. So that was actually a really good save. Timmy almost in.
Wow. Okay. I was just gonna say I'm curious to see the push for the Panthers, just what they have compete level wise, because the way they play, like they're a team that is just in your face. That's how they win games, and that's how they won 2 cups. And when you're out of it like this and your body is probably exhausted, like half these guys have played so much hockey in the last 3 years that they've got to be looking at the calendar and being like, just get me. I know they live in Florida, but just get me to the sun, get me to the relaxation a little bit. Cause it's gotta be brutal to have it just not there for you at this time of year, which it usually has been.
But I'll flip it a little bit, Jack, because a lot of those guys that are grinding in the cup run and they've got miles on their legs and battling injuries, those guys are out. A lot of these guys are fighting for contracts, and these are their opportunities for NHL games. So you might be sitting here being like, Florida's out of it, they probably don't care, they're probably going to ease off a little. There's probably like 6 or 7 guys that they're like, this is an opportunity, maybe of a lifetime is exaggerating, but this is a massive opportunity for me. And not only do I not usually get to play NHL games when I'm in, but they might get elevated roles here. Like some of these guys might get power play time, killing penalties, top 4 minutes, top 6 minutes. Like there's some motivated players on Florida here that will be really pushing it. So you got to watch out for that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to say that they're not going to be motivated. It's more just their style. Like they're very physical, and it's just, do you have that with you? And so far, I'd say it looks like they do. Like they're just playing still a decent game. They obviously their injuries have impacted them this season, but if you look at their numbers under the hood, like we have with the Sens, their goaltending has sunk them significantly. Bobrovsky's having a terrible season. Yeah. Obviously, he's a guy who's played a lot of hockey. UFA also in the summer, but they're still a decent team analytically for all their injuries and everything. Like they've done a decent job, well coached. So, and they beat the Sens 3 times. So there's icing on the Sens. They definitely got to find a way to power through that. So let's see this last 5 minutes of the period up 1-0 for Ottawa.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to see them convert even strength too. Like, obviously, we're not going to apologize or complain on the power play, but you should be able to have the edge 5-on-5 here. So I don't want to see them just rely on the power play.
Yeah, they had 3 5-on-5 goals on Tuesday against Tampa, I believe, right? 5-5, and then the empty netter.
Yeah. Well, actually, oh no, I was going to say that wasn't 5-on-5, but that was 6-on-4.
Yeah, that's right. It was shorthanded. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So they had the 3 and they had the 1 and then the 2 in the third period. By Sanderson, his first one, and then Zetterlund. It was just an explosion in that third period. It was great to watch. Good little play from Dylan Cousins there. Florida's a team too, Pilsy, where I have no doubt in my mind they'll be back next year.
Yeah, I mean, with the guys they have, and those guys will get much needed break, I think they're going to be a problem again next year. It'll be interesting to see what they do in goal. You got to assume they're going to bring Bob back, but we'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to be one to keep an eye on. We won't get ahead of ourselves there, but
yeah,
certainly the Atlantic won't be going anywhere.
Yeah.
That one out of play, I guess. That is the third out-of-town scoreboard flash on the scoreboard.
Oh yeah, they're really pumping it.
Yeah, as they should.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's a big deal and something to watch here.
There's a Bruins fan in the stands for some reason. Now, I will say, is Boston playing tonight? I will mention Boston if they were playing. I don't think they are, because the Sens have a game in hand on them. So that's a team, because they are not at a striking distance of the Bruins that I'd mention. They are not.
Okay.
Confirmed not playing. So this is the game in hand today. Got some people in the chat just kind of talking about the game. I think it's been a couple lukewarm shifts, I'll put it that way, the last little bit, but I'm having a tough time getting frustrated with how this team's done in the last 2 months, 3 months overall, because it's been a rocky ride from where they were January 25th. That it's, I'm just happy to be in this position. Even if they lose tonight, I'm not going to be, throwing things against the wall by any means, but because I'm just thrilled to be in this spot, to be honest.
Yeah, and I don't care how they get in, Jack. They just need to get in. And you're starting to hear national hockey media being like, hey, the Sens could be a problem for teams in the playoffs. So, like, people are starting to realize what this team can do. And, like, for them to have the success they've had in the last little while with the injuries on their back end is incredible. So getting these guys back, we're going to start to see this team really get going, because you got to be confident being like, hey, we did so well without these guys. Now we got them back. Like, let's really push it here. So I'm excited for this stretch here, the last couple of games.
It's definitely great. And I've talked a lot with you about how they know how to play in this time of year now. It doesn't mean that they're going to thrive and do whatever. I think that's why the last couple of games have been so exciting for me, seeing the big boys come through like that, because they are clearly starting to thrive in these games. But they know this feeling. They were here last year. They got over that hump of finally making it, battled the demons, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And we're seeing in Detroit how hard that is. And I think watching Detroit, and again, it's not over yet, but watching Detroit's fall off and their fan base, it makes me appreciate last year a lot more than I did at the time, I think. And then this year too, because they were able to claw their way out of it again.
Yep.
And get back into a position where they can fight and push. And now they're leading the charge, as they have for a few weeks now in this playoff spot. Here's Zetterlund. What a goal. What a goal, man.
Oh,
what a snipe. Don't let Zetterlund get hot. That's back-to-back games. That's a really nice play by Fabian Zetterlund. 2-0.
Top shelf.
That was pretty. That was really pretty.
Nice.
The way he, watch the way he shifts his body here when he gets the puck.
Shout out Lars Eller.
That little sidestep, just Bob didn't see anything. What a shot.
And I'm assuming that's Fogle. Shout out Fogle for
yeah.
making that screen and creating that lane. That's just a great shift by the fourth line.
Little pump fake, and that's another good play by Zetterlund. He drew that penalty to start. Do not let Fabian Zetterlund heat up.
Nice.
Spence gets an assist on that too. Yeah, good. Yeah, Fogle deserves a shout out there for the screen, and away we go. 2-0 Sens.
Oh, that feels good. Now, again, a lot of hockey to be played, but it's nice to get that even strength goal from the fourth line. Hopefully close out this period up by 2.
What a pass by Sanderson there behind the net.
Yep.
Really good to have 85 back. I've said it each game so far that he's been back, but he does so many things out there for this team defensively that lead to offense, and he's now starting to lead the offense. Really impressive. And then obviously getting the fourth line to chip in like that is key. That goes straight out.
Oh,
I was saying it deflected.
Okay. There's no more important player on the Sens than Sanderson. Like even Timmy, like Sanderson is much more important for what this team does and the minutes he plays, the situations he's in. I mean, Timmy plays all situations too. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but Sanderson is just so important for how this team is designed to have success.
Absolutely. They've built their team around him. They've built their team around him, and to an extent, Shane Pinto as well. Like that whole defensive shutdown vibe they've got. There's a nice play by Tkachuk. Greg in alone. Oh, come on.
Oh,
I mean, if he scores, I'm gonna go. I just got to keep doing it. I got to pick a guy, random guy. There's no rhyme or reason to it, by the way. A couple of them have been like Zetterlund against his old team, that one game we were at. Sanderson I felt like it's obviously throwing darts at a wall, but it's another good chance for Ridley Gregg.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's having a good game, Jack. Like the points aren't there, but he's playing well. He's got 2 good opportunities. He had 1 good defensive play, so this is fine.
So with the Panthers, what I was saying before about the compete level and stuff, this is where I wonder what we see from them.
Yeah.
If we see a bit of a sag, or if we see them kind of start to try and push if they can. Here's Timmy.
Ooh, that was close.
Because it's still a team, Pilsy, that they were right with the Sens after the Olympic break, I think. Like they were right there with them still. They were still a team I expected to come right back from that and have a bit of a push to the playoffs, but they just couldn't stay healthy. Like everyone kept going down, and they just they lost a lot of games I think they should have won in that stretch. And then before they knew it was too late. Here's Timmy.
Rip that.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I think I'm a bit ahead of you here. Well,
yeah, you might be a little bit ahead.
102.
Okay, I'm a second behind you.
Okay, we've got a minute left here. We're almost.
We'll manage.
We will.
But yeah, like Florida, like you got so many guys going to the Olympics for them. You got so many injuries. Your goaltending's not holding up. Like and when you go to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, like eventually there's just no more gas in the tank. So you can't really blame them. And honestly, this is probably a good thing that their guys are getting, I don't want to say fully rest because you're rehabbing and you're injured. That's not great. But like guys are getting less games in. You're going to have a long summer to recover. Like this is probably what they needed, honestly. And
you can kind of sense that from them. Like they're like, you know what? Wasn't our year. Like they've had a run. I consider them a dynasty for what they did. I think we've talked about this. Like they go Ridley Gregg. Oh my God, man. Come on. He's all close. Around it. He's around it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got to call that. Got to call that one, I guess. They missed. Timmy was upset there on his nice play that they didn't call Forsling for a trip. And I think he's got a case with how that play looked, but calling that one on Brady. 41 seconds left to the kill, which has been very good, very sneakily during this whole stretch for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, special teams has been clutch lately.
But even I mean, panic button day. They made Mike Yeo the
Yep.
leader of the penalty kill, and it's a top 10 penalty kill in the league since then. So they found a formula on it. And they get a test here, 41 seconds. Still 20. Like it's so crazy how bad it was in the first half of the season.
They were in the 60s for a long time.
October, I think they were running at 40% on their PK.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was literally 1 every 2 was going in.
Yeah, it was so bad.
There's Greg. Yeah, and you think we've listed all these Panthers injuries and everything they've gone through during the season, like all the guys who did come back. Their best player and one of the best players in the league hasn't even played this season in Barkov. So you think about all the rest he's getting. I know he's recovering from ACL, but like that's a guy who, when he's back, this is a much different team.
Yeah, he got injured in training camp. Like that's just so brutal.
First skate of the year, I think it was. And it was a weird injury. He just fell. And that's the first period there coming to a close. So I'll keep you for the intermission, Pilsy, and then we'll get rolling after that. A great period for the Ottawa Senators. Really nothing dangerous against. Really good chances. And Fabian Zetterlund was a difference maker in that first 20.
That was a nice goal. I mean, that's the thing. Like he's got that in him to be dangerous when he gets the time and space. So I'm glad he was able to bury there. And you get that first goal on the power play. Sanderson shot from the point that deflects off Batherson, gets it going. So up 2-0 here. This is a good spot to be. There's no reason why they shouldn't keep pressing, keep playing that smart defensive game. And Allmarks looks solid. He hasn't had to make any stellar saves, but like he's been there when he's needed to. That point shot that Timmy tipped down right there for the pad save. So far so good.
That is a good save. I'm glad we saw that, because that looked like a harmless play, and you need to see the replay on some of these. Just for our own knowledge, the Sens are now minus 3,000 to win this game, up 2-0. So again, these are just wild lines to me to see, and I do agree, because they're right. They should not lose this game, but it's 2-0, and that's why I'm pointing out, because like we said, the opening odds were kind of what you would expect in a 2-0 game most of the time, but just speaks to both teams. You got basically a fully healthy Sens team now, pushing for the playoffs, fine-tuning, and then a depleted Panthers team. Let's talk more about the Panthers. I think they're obviously an interesting team, and we've talked, you and I too, about the inability to beat the older brother when they're going head-to-head in Florida specifically. This is a team that we said is going to be back. The Sens are going to plan to be good again next year. You're going to have to go through at some point. What do you see anything in the matchup that you like? Because I think personally, similar to the Hurricanes, I think there's a lot of similarities between the way that the two teams play.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously when you've got a Kachuk on each side, you can make that comparison easily, although Matthew Kachuk not here, is still awaiting the birth of his child. But it's I was going to say it's a copycat league, but it's not kind of like the NFL and NBA and even MLB is. But you look at the way that, and it started with Tampa. Tampa had success by having this mean skill, and that's how you're going to battle your way through the playoffs and be able to have success, sustainable success for a long time. And then Florida got their butts whooped by Tampa, and then they realized, hey, we got to do this too. And that's when they acquired Matthew Kachuk, and then they figured that out. They bring in Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, like those types of guys. And then even Vegas kind of did that a little bit in a different way. Like they more had like their fourth liners and a couple defensemen. They went big on their back end. Like teams are noticing the way you have to do this. And the Ottawa Senators have done it in a similar way, like getting guys like Nick Cousins, getting guys like when he was here, David Perron. You try to get that kind of meanness added to your game, but also with some savvy veteran experience and guys that can play that two-way game is where the Senators are mostly working on here. Like I think the Senators have focused much more on the defensive side of the game than I think the Florida Panthers had. And not to say they don't have defensive players, but I just think that's been more the Sens' focus, and that's how they want to win games, mixed with some gritty toughness as well.
Yeah, the reason I just kind of make the comparison is obviously the Kachucks. That's an obvious parallel. If there's any player like one of the other in the league, it's their brother.
Yep.
So it's the only comparison. But I mentioned Barkov kind of being the center of their team. And like they've got this meanness, this toughness built around him, but he is at his heart Selke candidate year after year. He's this generation's Bergeron. Like he's that good.
Definitely.
Every year. I feel like the Sens have that, but just on the back end in Sanderson. I really do. Like that's his game. He prides himself on defense. Not saying that he's going to be at the level of Barkov. I want everyone to calm down here, but he could be. Like I think I said it a couple of years ago when Sanderson was just breaking into the league. Like he's the guy that, if everything goes well here and the Sens win a cup one day, Sanderson's my number one Conn Smythe candidate. Like he's that kind of player where
Probably
he's going to be the best matchups, like that kind of guy. So I guess that's the only way I could kind of see a comparison. It's just we're going to have to see it down the road at some point. I thought it would be sooner, maybe this season. I really expected the Panthers to be in the mix, like I said, even after the Olympic break. But I'm thankful they weren't because they were just a non-factor all year when it came to the playoff race for the Sens, because there could have been a scenario here where we see Barkov skating and this is a whole different game tonight. And but anyway, we're not there right now. But I can. You made the Dune reference. I can see it at some point here that this matchup is going to come to a boil at some point.
Yeah, I mean, the Atlantic Division is not going to get any easier. There's not a single team other than the Leafs, I guess, that are actively tanking. And I don't think the Leafs are going to do a full rebuild. They've already had kind of William Nylander saying, hey, if this is going to be a rebuild, I want out. And that's a market where you got to keep the fans engaged, and they're going to want to keep some of this momentum going from the last couple of years they've had. And then teams like Boston are going to get better because they added to their prospect pool. Depending on how the Leaf season goes, they might get another top pick. They just had James Haggins, who's coming into the mix here too. So that team's going to get better. Montreal's prospect pipeline's good. They're going to get better. Detroit has a really good prospect pipeline too. They're going to get better, you assume. Buffalo, now they've found how to have success with that team, and a lot of those guys are young, and they've got guys locked up, so they're not going anywhere. Like, it's the hardest division in hockey. It's not even close.
It's a gauntlet. It's ridiculous how every team here is good. To the point where I'm like, when you're saying the Leafs might not rebuild, and there's talk in Detroit if they don't make it here of doing some changes, where I'm like almost begging these teams to do a stupid rebuild, so that they don't compete. Because I think I'm very curious to see who the favorites are to win the division next season. And like I said, I think the Panthers are going to be probably my value pick for that because of their pedigree and just the rest they have. But yeah, Tampa's still involved. All the other teams starting to taste it a little bit. Montreal on the rise. It's not going to ease up, which is why it's nice to see the Sens really find their stride here, because the future's bright, but the ultimate goal, you got to get through your division first. On that note, though, Pilsy, as it lines up right now, they would not be through the Atlantic in the playoffs. They'd be going through the Metro side and starting with Carolina. I'm much more in favor of that. I think it's a borderline toss-up between Tampa, Carolina, Montreal, Buffalo really this season. So if you're picking Carolina, then I like that better because of the path afterwards and getting Pittsburgh, who I like the matchup against, or the Flyers or Columbus or Islanders, whoever it ends up being. Like, that's the path I like more. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but I just did. It's less than a week left in the season. They're in a playoff spot. We might as well. What do you like most, I think, maybe about the way the bracket's shaking out? Because there could be some really good matchups. Like a Buffalo-Montreal first round would be unreal.
Yeah, that would be interesting for sure. And then that would lead Tampa, Boston. That would be awesome. The Battle of Pennsylvania. And then a new one, Ottawa and Carolina, which I'm down for. I think especially if you're a fan of either one of those teams, it's going to be great hockey. So I honestly hope it shakes out exactly how it is. And even on the West, I mean, we already have one playoff series locked in the West, Minnesota, Dallas. That is going to be such good hockey.
Much hockey for sure. So I actually had a point about this. I was talking to a buddy today about it, but obviously it sucks that one of those teams is going home, and it's not fair because those guys should be facing each other in the conference final or the second round at the very earliest. But they are, because the division format, it's got everyone talking like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And every time Bettman's asked about it, it's almost a non-negotiable. He's like, why would we change it? And I know why. It's because of ratings. And the way that you and I just reacted to that series is exactly why. Because if it's Dallas and Utah, I'm sorry, but I'm not staying up until midnight watching those games. But this one I might, because it's such good hockey, and that's exactly the pull. That's why they do it, because you get every round, there's at least a marquee matchup that you can tune into every night.
Well, and you're trying to drum up division rivalries and hatred and building these stories, right? So that's part of it. And also, like, okay, if you're a Minnesota fan, I get it. You could be pissed because you haven't made it out of the first round in what? Like, it's like, I feel like it's been 10 consecutive years of them.
The second round. They made the second round a couple times, but they're kind of like that middle. They've never been in the conference final, I don't think.
Yeah, but most of the time they get knocked out of the first round because they get an unfavorable matchup. But like, this is the playoffs. Should only be good teams. You should only be playing up against good teams. Like, you can't be sitting there being like, it's crazy we didn't get a weak matchup. Well, there shouldn't be any weak matchups. Like, there's 4 matchups. There's 8 teams. All eight teams should be good, and you can't have 2 weak teams going up against each other. So I don't know. I'm not a guy that's really that upset about the format. I'm a 1 through 16 guy, if anything, Jack.
Wow.
Like, I think that's, if you want to get crazy with it, 1 through 16, or if you want to get even crazier, now we're going off the rails. Pick your opponent based on seeding,
like the PWHL does. They've got some good rules in the PWHL that I think would be very, very cool to see implicated. I'm just going through the standings right now to see who the Sens would play if it was 1 versus 16. I do like that idea. It's just not realistic with the travel, because you could have, like, the playoffs would be 5 months long with all the days off. You'd have to give them with the rules, with the union and everything.
They got planes. These are athletes. They got sleep doctors and nutritionists, and it could
be a fun, like how does it work with who gets better rest, who flies better, who, you know what I mean? Like, who's got better travel. So the Sens are 10th in the NHL right now, entering play tonight. So I'm not a math guy here, but they'd be on the road against, I believe, because 8 would be the halfway point. So it'd be Pittsburgh, Boston. They'd be playing the Minnesota Wild, Pilsy. Are you sure you want 1 versus 16?
Oh, man. Okay, never mind. 1 through 16 is stupid.
Because it's it'd be 10 versus 7. If it was 1 versus 6 right now, they would be playing, or sorry, 1 to 8, like the normal original one. They are the 7 seed, and they would play the Buffalo Sabres if it ended today. So,
well, wait, would they be? Oh yeah, you're
because Philly's below them. Okay. Yeah, so technically they'd be 7th. It's fun to think about, because I think every year with the divisional, and the argument from people who have been on the wrong side of it, the Leafs fans have huge arguments about it. That's why we talk about it all the time. I've heard arguments from them saying, well, it's stupid to drum up rivalries. It doesn't happen. And then I look at the Leafs and I say, you hate the Tampa Bay Lightning, you hate the Florida Panthers, and you hate the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
You would never hate those teams as a Leafs fan otherwise. There's no way that you'd have a rivalry with the Florida Panthers, right? So it just shakes out that way. And I think either way, like you said, there's going to be big matchups no matter what. There's going to be matchups that the Sens played the Rangers. I think the first year of it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the year before, with this divisional thing. They played the Rangers again, which they had already played in another division for the second time in like 5 years in the playoffs. You end up playing the same teams.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like good teams are going to find their way, and you're going to play good teams in the playoffs. That's what it is. So there's never going to be a perfect way. So I think you just got to take it for what it is. But I can understand that there's certain teams where it hasn't been in their favor. And for them, I'll give them a pass to be pissed off about it.
We've got a question period headline here from Bruce with Drake Batherson saying, does Drake Batherson want to stay in Ottawa? I don't have audio. I'm assuming Bruce is saying yes, but that's obviously a contract discussion for the summer with 1 year left after this for Drake Batherson.
Yeah. That'll be big. Bruce is basically just saying if they don't extend him in the summer, then they're going to have to look at possibly trading him, because you can't just let him walk, I think is the gist of what Bruce is saying there, which makes sense. But this team is a better team with Drake Batherson on it. And I think like the only reason you wouldn't keep him is if what he's asking is crazy, or if you're looking, hey, we're not going to make playoffs next year, which would be devastating. And this is a guy on a really good value contract. So his value trade asset wide is so high right now. We just got to go for it. But I know people don't exactly love Batherson. He can go silent sometimes. He scores in bunches. He can be kind of snake bitten, but he's second on the team in points. Like, he's a big part of this offense. I think he fits in with his group off the ice really well as well. So I want them to sign him here, but with the way the salary cap is going, this is going to be their first kind of big contract in the new salary cap age. I think fans need to embrace the fact that he might end up being the highest paid player on the team.
Yeah, I remember we've talked about this before, and I remember you saying that. I don't get that vibe from him. I know that's the value and it's there, and I totally get that. He just set a career high in points tonight with his 69th point of the season, already has with goals. So it's career highs across the board for Drake Batherson. He's an extremely productive player for his price tag. But I do think that if he's, obviously if you're replacing him, okay, where are those 70 points coming from then? Yeah. Because that's a massive piece of your team. I'm not disputing that. The only time I'm even in my mind considering a move off of Drake Batherson is if he asks for too much money, which I don't see being an issue ever. I actually think he'd go under what Timmy makes right now. I think that's a fair raise for him. It'll be his biggest contract yet. I don't think he's going to nickel and dime for an extra couple $100,000 based on what he's making now. Just based on a vibe, I have no idea. But also, I think that you got to be looking at if you're able to move him in a package for a true top line player. And I'm not saying he's not that, but he's a very streaky player, right? If you can get a guy who gives you 90 points, gives you a point per game, challenges Timmy, makes Timmy a 100-point player, then you do it. And obviously that's a very short list because I think Drake Batherson is very, very valuable for what he brings. I definitely want them to keep him at the right price. Even if he is at like 8.5, closer to 9, I'm not rolling my eyes being like, what are they doing? I just think that with the way this team is structured, their chemistry, blah, 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 blah. I think the only guy who's breaking that Timmy plane should be Brady Tkachuk's next contract. That's my MO. I think that's how you go in the negotiation as the Sens.
Yeah, and that's fair. But yeah, you got to think salary cap percentage, not just the number, because it's changing. That's a big thing. Like our guy here, Sean, says if Bath makes more than Timmy, that's atrocious. And that's a fair way to think. Like, Timmy's and Sanderson, best players, you can't make more than them. And that's how teams have done in the past. But there hasn't been this shift in salary cap like there is now. Like, usually it only goes up a little bit. So it's all relative, but that's not the case anymore. And if I'm Drake Batherson and his agent, I'm probably sitting there being like, you guys got one hell of a discount on me for 2, maybe even 3 years. I'm not taking a discount this time. Not to say that when he signed it, it was a discount. I think it was a fair deal when he signed it, but certainly the back half of that worked in the Sens' favor for sure. So I'm sure him and his agent are like, we're making sure we get top dollar here. And Timmy and Sanderson are on incredible deals if you think about it. So sitting here being like, hey, you can't make more than them because they're the best players. Again, fair way of thinking. But value-wise, market value-wise, Timmy and Sanderson, you could pay those guys $10 million a year. I wouldn't blink. And any team, if they were available, they would sign those contracts in an instant. So you have to remember that too. It's not like the mark where their salaries are is exactly market value. Like, if we could give Pierre Dorion credit for anything, it's locking those guys up to those contracts, because those are going to look, I mean, they look amazing now. Those are going to be absolute steals for the rest of their contract.
Yeah, they already are. So he's now had 4 consecutive seasons over 60 points. Drake Batherson on the power play he's been remarkably productive for his number. And honestly, like, the power play is where he really thrives, and that's the biggest reason I wouldn't want to move him. Again, you got to get a guy who could step in and do what he does on the power play first and foremost. It'll be fascinating. He's the first UFA out of this group, out of all those contracts they signed, and he's obviously having a career year this year. I don't want to move him, but I'll leave you with this, Pillsy. Just my thinking. They just signed Shane Pinto to an extension. He was an RFA after it, bit different. They're similar, close in age, like all these guys are. I think that's the mark for Batherson. I think 7.5 is what you want for a guy who is, yes, playing on the top line. I still don't conceivably think of him as a bona fide top line right winger yet. He could still get there, and he's played more like it this season, in my opinion, for several stretches this year. If you're built through the middle of the ice, I think you go with, that's kind of your benchmark. Like if I could get Batherson at a whatever term he wants, around 7.5, 8 million, I think that's the sweet spot for Batherson. But again, I'm not going to be upset at 8.5, whatever, a little bit over Timmy. I just think in that range, it can't go higher than that range for me.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, but hey, I don't care. I hope he keeps adding points to his totals here. It makes it difficult on the Sens because we need him here. He's a big part of this offense.
Absolutely. So a career high 30 something goals now for Batherson. I lost track. He's close to Timmy for the team lead, and a career high in points, 69. He's one away from 70 for the first time in his career. All right, second period is underway here, Pillsy. 50 seconds left for the Panthers on the power play. Obviously, I'll let you go, but if you want to stick around for the power play, maybe the rest of the penalty kill, and then we'll.
Yeah, let's see how this penalty kill goes.
Yeah, a little pressure here for Verhaeghe, and that gets blocked by Zub, of course, like it always does. Artem Zub getting in the way. Another guy who is up for contract after next season. I think that's the more interesting one than Drake Batherson. I'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah? I
do.
I mean,
because
both of them are going to be interesting.
They're both UFAs, both key pieces. Yeah, and actually, okay, going back on the Batherson thing, it's a really good discussion, and one that I don't want to have yet because of where they are in the season, but you know, they're probably gonna have to go get another winger anyway, if he's here or not. So Claude Giroux's not a long-term, short-term answer in the top six, in my opinion. So they got to find another guy anyway. So do you want to risk losing Batherson over a couple $100,000? No, not at all. So I think that's kind of what we're going to see in the negotiations.
Yeah. I don't think the Sens are going to play hardball with him too much here because, yeah, here we go. Timmy.
Timmy and Brady on a breakaway. Stutzla.
Oh,
what a save.
That was a huge save.
Really nice save. See, if I'm the German there, go 5-hole with the stick in Bobrovsky's hands like that. But that's a nice Brady set a pick here too. But look at the 5-hole.
No, I actually
you know what?
That. I think that was the play. He just got beat.
How obnoxious am I? If I was Stutzel there, I would have done this.
But I know what you mean. As soon as you see that stick out, but then
it's an auto move.
5-hole. That's an easier way for him to poke check it. It's high risk, high reward. Either you easily get it or he easily poke checks it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a save by Bobrovsky for Timmy there at the end of the penalty kill. But the Sens kill it off, and here's Shabbat. Oh, deflected out. And yeah, Pilsy, I'll let you go. We'll see you. Not tonight with the beer league. Are you guys still in playoffs?
No, we're done. We had our playoffs finished 8th out of 8. We'll get them next year.
Man, my beer league team, we went hot 8-1 down the stretch. Ooh. We enter playoffs. It's a round robin with 6 teams. We came dead last in the round robin, so I don't think we have another playoff game. I don't know actually how it goes, but that's the end of my tenure in the Montreal beer league sphere. And it was a fun time, but I'll never play defense again.
Fair.
Yeah. All right, Pilsy. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you in the postcast tonight.
See you, Jack. Sounds good. Go Sens.
All right, that's been Brandon Pillar, co-host Locked On Senators podcast. You know, Pilsy, love joining the stream. We went a little bit long there, having a Drake Batherson discussion. Definitely going to be a topic this summer. There are not many big contracts to deal with this summer for the team, just Jordan Spence, and that's really it. Levi Marilainen. But in terms of the summer after that, like I mentioned, Artem Zub, Drake Batherson are UFAs, and Brady Tkachuk will then have 1 year left on his deal. So some questions will start to need answers soon with the contracts for the Ottawa Senators, but not worth discussing now because nothing can be done about it. And let's see. I think I'm enjoying what I'm seeing for the Sens here tonight. The points matter, but these games are certainly not as intense and tight checking as the last two were, which is to be expected with the opponent where they are in the standings. But that still means the Sens need to take care of business. Most consecutive 30-point seasons in Sens defenseman franchise history. Wade Redden and Thomas Chabot. Wow. Fogel's down in a heap there. Not feeling good. Oh, got run into there. Kind of got pushed into the Panther. He looks all right, though. D-zone draw here. Amadio takes it. Amadio right at the net. It's loose in the crease. Nothing doing. It's a good shift, though. Good little push. 2-0 Sens here early in the first. Or second, sorry. They're in total control of this game right now, but there's a lot of hockey left. Just got to keep pouring it on. I think the best thing about the position they're in, right, being 2 points up on Columbus, 3 points up on the rest. Columbus needs 3 points to pass the Sens. The rest need 4. You know, with every win here, they just plant even more seeds of doubt. They just make every other team kind of believe less and less that it's going to start to happen for them. So that's the key. And then obviously they've got to win out. That's you know, basically the other teams have to win out to have a chance here. Here's Batherson coming over the line. Here's Giroux behind the defense. Doesn't get a shot off. Look at all the current injuries. Barkov, Gadjevich, Marchand, Reinhart, Balinskis, Mikula, Lundell, Rodriguez, Ekblad, Kulikov, and Seth Jones. Oh my God. A lot of those are recent. Marchand, Reinhart, like those guys have missed 16, 14 games. Just basically shut down after the Olympic break. Here's Brady behind the D. Gets it in front. Oh, he was going to the net there. Good stick by Zub. Here come the Panthers. Oh, Bennett just had a good chance. Bit of pressure here from the Panthers. Still got it. That goes out of play. Shots are 13-7. 15 minutes left in the second period. There's a big hit along the wall. Fourth line out there again in the O-zone. There's a breakaway. Oh, it was offside. Thompson did a good job, though, on it. Noah Gregor got behind him. We know he can fly. Zetterlund just sat Sabrango down. A little reverse hit from Zetterlund. He's having a good game. O-zone draw now. Amadio's on it. He is just so fun to watch on the boards. He wins every battle, man. My favorite thing is just saying copy paste when I say good stick by Amadio. Good stick by Amadio. Look at him go. Wings that around. Gets that deep. Really should be a game the Sens can just roll 4 lines here with the lead as well. Spence at the point. Shabbat's got it now. Oh, Pinto had a good look in the slot. Good puck movement there. Comes Amadio again. And the Sens will get a change. Giroux got it. Sanderson down to Timmy. In his feet. Good puck movement here. This is good pressure. Best pressure of the period so far. Long shift for Florida. Timmy's dancing with it a little bit. Sanderson now. Giroux up top. Oh. Goes wide. Timmy down to Giroux. Long shift for the Panthers. They are straight legging it. And Giroux gives it away. And here comes Bennett. In the slot all alone on Verhaeghe. Bennett had a great look there. Didn't shoot. That one deflected wide off Timmy. Stung him a little bit. Now he's had a long shift all of a sudden. And Sens ice it. Kind of weird how that worked out. Sens were pushing, and then the Panthers all of a sudden just started pushing back. It's 32 goals for Drake Batherson this season. Career high. Giroux flips it out. Should get a change. Nice play by Kachuk. Good block by Zetterlund. Cousins gets it deep. Florida just doesn't really have the dogs here to follow up shifts from the Bennett and Verhaeghe combo. But here they come. Nice save by Ullmark. There we go. Now Fogel's got it. Oh, he tried to spring Greg. Good pass. Greg behind the net. Oh. Forced a turnover, though. Here's Fogel. Down to Matt and Palo. There's a good block by Fogel in front of the net. Here come the Sens. Eller. Sanderson. He's going wide with speed. Nope. Stopped up. Lars Eller. Oh. Just rolling 4 lines right now. Here comes Amadio. More ozone pressure. Getting to their game here a little bit more, which is good. Sanderson up top. Mario makes a nice move. Bobrovsky makes a nice save there. Hangs on. It's good pressure from the Sens. Looking pretty good here. Reminder, folks, just like and subscribe to the page. We're trying to build up our subscriber base on YouTube. And if we keep getting subscribers, keep getting likes on the videos, we'll keep these streams going. Leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. We'll keep the streams going through Game 82 and beyond. I shouldn't say through Game 82. There's going to be a few that we don't do it for if they don't matter. But as long as the games matter, I'll be right here. Pilsy will join me. Callum Fraser from the Ottawa Sun will join me on the road games. So this weekend, we'll be talking to Callum in the intermissions. Got a lot of talk about the out-of-town scoreboard going on. I will not be mentioning it. I will not mention the results of the out-of-town scoreboard until I feel like I have to. Look at that kid just mucking the ice cream right behind Claire Hanna. That's so funny. Talking to Travis Green there. Shabbat's got it in the middle. Gets it deep. Batherson shoots it out. Yeah, look at him. He's still just chowing down on that ice cream cone. I'd pan the focus over to that kid. Green was upset about something on the bench there. Talking to Nolan Bumgardner. Kachuk on the face-off. Wins it to the wingers, but the winger wasn't there, so that's a loss. Panthers get it deep. Out front, nice stop by Ullmark, and he freezes it. There's a 52.9% chance the Sens will play Carolina in round 1. Interesting. Most interesting. Gonna be Ridley Gregg on the face-off. In the D zone, he loses it. Another lost draw for the Sens. But Zub battles and gets that puck out, or helps get it out. Tries. Pinto flips it out. Still just a 2-0 lead here for the Sens. Good stick by Zub. Ullmark freezes. Showing the highlights of Pajot's 4-goal game against Montreal. Or 3-goal game, sorry. Paul McLean. That was the last time they made it back-to-back years. That's right. There he is. Look at that. Look at the duster. He's my inspiration, man. Paul McLean's mustache is my inspiration. Some pressure here for Florida. And Zub doesn't get it out. I think this top line for the Panthers has looked pretty good. Bennett, Samoskevich, and Verhaeghe. They've looked pretty nice. Overall, I'd say. Brady's got it in the corner. Now Giroux on it. Nice back check by Lassie Thompson. I don't think Travis Green will be super thrilled with his team so far in this game. Just this period, maybe specifically in the offensive zone, they've been a little passive, it feels like. Florida's had a bit more puck possession, I think. They had a couple good shifts there in the second. But they've gotten away from it a bit. Let's see if they can get back to it. Shabbat's got it on the point. Spence, Eller, Fogle, and Zetterlund go to work. Zetterlund's got it. He's been noticeable today. Spence down low. Nothing comes of it. Panthers have it. Panthers at the line. Oh, nice block by Zetterlund there. That's a big block. Back comes Florida, though. Greer, wow, that went right through Ullmark. He still doesn't know where it is. That almost went in. I don't know how it didn't. Panthers are kind of pushing here. Ullmark sprawling around a little bit. Yeah, they're humming here. Goes wide. Comes out. Got lucky. Really lucky. That was a good chance. Here they come again. Nice play by Amadio. Are you kidding me? Michael Amadio, great stick. Copy paste. Here they come again. Bennett tries to wrap it around. This is not a good sequence here for the Sens. Still in their own end. They get lucky there. There's Nosek. Good stick there. Brady sends it up to Giroux. They got to get going here on the offense a little bit more. Sitting back too much. Here comes Gregor. A lot of speed. Just wires that wide. Wide open. Nice save by Ullmark. Great sequence for Linus Ullmark. Huge save. They were under pressure there, man. It's a really nice save. Got to wake up a little bit. That's a good good sequence for Ullmark, not for the team. Panthers were kind of buzzing there. Had that one chance too that just kind of squeaked by the post. There is a dog, yeah. We'll take that save from Ullmark though. Some funny comments there about the dog barking. Saw a squirrel or something. I don't know, man. That's a good sequence for Ullmark. They needed that. They were slagging a little bit. TV timeout comes at a good time. They got to get back to skating. They've been a little lazy on the offense. A little bit of laziness, I think. Just not really skating. But they withstood the pressure. Still have a 2-goal lead here. They just got to get back to it. Pinto is just completely smothered there. He's got a guy all over him the whole shift. Here's a bit of an exit. Pinto's got a bit of space. End of a shift, though. Giroux up high. Down to Sanderson. Here's Timmy. Blocked in front. And here comes Giroux in the middle. Here's a bit of good pressure from this top line. No shots in 10:45 for the Sens. We're getting Jacques Martin out here. Haven't hit the net. They've had some zone time since then. They just haven't had any clean looks. Panthers are doing a good job defending, but Sens got to bear down a little bit. Matt and Paolo, that's blocked. Brady in front. That'll go on net. That'll count as a shot. Now we get a bit of a scrum. Brady getting involved. All right, that was a decent pushback. Still got a 2-goal lead, so you feel comfortable, but I'd like to see a bit more offensively. Not a great game right now for the Ottawa Senators. Bit of a sleepy period. Definitely a sleepy period for the Sens right now. And this is what I mean when I'm talking to Pilsy about Florida. Like, they're still Florida. They're still hard to play against every game. Like, they've lost close ones here and there. They've still won a decent amount of games. They're not dreadful this season. They're just not the Panthers that we're used to, and they're obviously not making the playoffs. But I know their injuries are crazy, but the guys that they have can still make things happen. Bobrovsky's look pretty good at times. Bennett, Verhaeghe are still all over the place. I like Luosterainen a lot. Forsling's still noticeable. Still a tough challenge. Showing these pictures for Stutzla this season. That goal that didn't count. Been flying through the air like Bobby Orr. Obviously did that one tonight too. Here's Shabbat, lots of room. Doesn't really get a good shot off. Curious how much power he's got on his wrist shot with his injury, but I think he looks good. His legs look good. His passes have been good. I've missed having him back there for sure. Fogle and Zetterlund have been good today. Obviously, Zetterlund's got the second goal tonight, but they've both been noticeable on the forecheck, and I think more consistently on every shift than any other Sen so far. Minute and a half left here in the second. Still 2-0. Eller on the forecheck. Got in the corner. Walks out. Doesn't really get a good look, but back up to the point. Matt and Paolo in the middle. Over to Thompson. Nick Cousins. Here goes the cycle. Eller moves it back, but Matt and Paolo was not on the line. 45 seconds left. I'd like to get one more here. Little insurance marker. Nothing on the forecheck. Sanderson's got it. 25 seconds to go. Here's a bit of a chance for Florida. 13 seconds. Good save by Ullmark. He looks sharp, man. Ullmark looks good. Keeping this a 2-goal lead for the Sens. .3 seconds left. And Sens ice it with just under 3 seconds to go. This has been a bad period for the Ottawa Senators, I'd say. And I think the coach agrees. I don't think he's happy with what he's seeing. Big face off here, and then we'll break this one down. Giroux directing everyone to the middle of the ice on this face off. He loses it, but time will wind down. Still a 2-goal lead, 2-0, but Panthers were the better team in that period, no doubt in my mind. It's not that they don't deserve to be winning the Sens overall. They still had their fair share of chances, I'd say, in that period. And Ullmark made some big saves, got lucky on a couple. Now, they just need to have a better answer in the third. They need to have a better push offensively and to sustain some pressure a bit more and just be a bit more physical. Got to be a bit more physical, I think. They sat back a little bit too much for my liking offensively. They did have a bit of a spark, but definitely need to wake up. Not happy with what I'm seeing. Let's go through some stats through 2 periods here. Let me just pull these up. As we're in the second intermission. All right. So obviously the only 2 goals happened in the first period. Batherson on the power play. Zetterlund at even strength. To go up 2-0. There were no goals in the second. All right. Brady Tkachuk leads forwards in ice time 12:37. 1 shot, 1 hit for Brady. Timmy's got 3 shots. He's not far behind in ice time either. Tkachuk has an assist. He's got 2 penalty minutes as well for that trip. Kind of standard. They've really been rolling 4 lines for the most part. Zetterlund has played the least out of the forwards with 650. I actually think he's having a great game too. So we'll keep an eye on that. For the defensemen with this top 4 kind of set, Chabot and Sanderson have played an equal amount. Zub's played a bit more. Bit of a longer shift for him, maybe. Spence at 13:35, like very standard stuff for the blue line. I think they'd like to just roll 3 pairs as much as they can. Let's go through the game stats through 2 overall. Shots are 16-13. They've got it right now for the Sens. 57.9. Sorry, 15-13. It just changed right in front of my eyes. 57.9% in the face-off dot, so that's back to normal what we're seeing. Used to seeing they're 1-for-1 on the power play, Batherson's goal, 1-for-1 on the PK as well. The hits are 23-14 for Florida. So Florida's been a lot more physical. Sens have 11 blocks. Panthers have 7 giveaways. Sens have 1 more. And that's about all she wrote there. Let's go to Money Puck. Everyone loves analytics. Let's check out what Money Puck is saying on the deserve to win a meter. So far, I'm curious about this one, actually. I bet you, yeah, Sens are about 60%, 65%. Makes sense. I still think they're generating, like they're not giving up high danger. It's just they don't have the puck as much as I'd expect and I'd like, you know? That's how I'll put that. Timmy's having a good game analytically right now. Kinda. Let's see Ullmark. Ullmark is having a good game, obviously. Yeah, I wish I had more to say. Like, it's a weird time here, obviously. I feel like they've had their big win of the regular season so far. Obviously, until they clinch, that won't really be the case. Like, that'll be the biggest win. But I feel like they've played well enough here where they deserve to win this game. Like I said, they got that early lead. They're kind of just maintaining that. Ullmark looks steady, but they got to do some more to help him out, I think. They got to maintain some possession a little bit more in the offensive zone, not sit back as much, spend more time pushing and grinding them out, as opposed to just sitting back and defending. Because it's a couple bounces and it's over if that's the case. There's Thomas Chabot having an interview with Claire Hanna. I think Chabot looks good. Probably a little bit rusty shooting the puck, but I don't think he's had many opportunities here to rip it, really. Panthers have been in the way, and that's actually kind of telling the story of the whole game, in my opinion. Like, the Panthers have been, or in the second period at least, the Panthers have been a lot more on it, if that makes sense. They've been a lot more in the area defensively. They looked a lot better in that second period, so Bobrovsky was still pretty good as well. Lots happening on the out-of-town scoreboard. But if the Sens keep winning, not mattering. There's a good stat from Owen. Let's check if that's true. Is Timmy the only one with multiple shots? I didn't even notice that. He is. That's a good call out, Owen. Timmy's got 3 shots, and no one else has more than 1. A lot of guys do have 1. I will say that's a good thing. But Pinto, Cousins, Eller, Matt and Paolo, and Thompson are the only forwards or only players without a shot on goal. So people don't have a lot of shots on goal, but everyone's almost got 1. So glass half full. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is like, I think they're going to lose this. They're losing this game or whatever. They're sitting back a little bit more than I'd like, and they are comfortable in these situations. The lack of firepower for the Panthers definitely doesn't make me nervous about them holding this lead. But it would be nice to see them come out the way they did in those tie games, right? In those bigger ones against Carolina and against early up by 1 against Carolina, but against the Hurricanes and against the Lightning. Just be nice to see that. Here's some highlights for Thomas Chabot. Yeah, shot clock is a bit more generous, I'd say, to the Sens than I felt. Shots were 8-5 for the Panthers in that period, but it felt worse than that. Seeing some people talking about here, I'll just put this up for Sean. It's actually not that. That isn't even the case. They just need to go 3-1. They need to win 3 of their last 4, and then they are guaranteed to make it. No one can match their point total or beat them on the tiebreaker, I believe, if that's the case. If they do that. All the teams with 89 points, their maximum amount of points with 4 or 3 games left, their maximum amount of points is 97. If you're at 89 with 4 games to go, and the Senators can max out at, or maybe I'm wrong. No, sorry. Yeah. So 3 wins would get them to 98. No one else can hit 98 if they're at, I'm wrong about that because Columbus is at 90. You know what? Just forget it. Just win. Just win. Keep collecting points. We'll reassess maybe in the postcast, talk about the out-of-town scoreboard. It's too confusing now because everyone's playing each other, right? Like Philly and Detroit are playing. I don't know who I want to root for in that game. I have no idea. You know, it's just too hard to gauge. I think just the easiest one is just win. And Sean has it exactly right. Let me just look at the standings, make sure I haven't been spewing nonsense to people. Because that's what I've been saying. I've been saying if the Sens go 3-1, they're in no matter what. Yes, sorry, yeah, because Columbus's max amount of points is 98, and if they tie at 98, Sens have the tiebreaker over them locked up. So they can't catch them in the tiebreaker. They're good. The only team that can is Washington. So Washington's a bit of a concern if they get hot, but they've played one more game, so they can max out they're at 89 right now with 3 games to go. Quick math, not a math guy, not a math show. They can max out at 95, so you don't need as many to eliminate Washington. But to eliminate the Islanders, the Red Wings, you need 97 points. And to eliminate the Blue Jackets, you need 98. That is how it shakes out. So to get to 97 points, the Sens need to win 3 more games or lose 1 in overtime and win 2 more. And to get to 98, they need to get 6 more points. Let's put it that way. That's also assuming all of those teams win out. Every single one of them goes on a heater to end the year, which won't happen. But one of them could. So if one of them does, that's what the Sens have to do. And it's more than doable with their schedule. Because like we're seeing tonight, definitely not playing their best, but they're up 2-0 against the weakened Panthers team. The earliest the Sens could clinch is Saturday. I don't know if that's going to happen, but would need a couple losses tonight. But they won't do that because everyone would have to lose both, and the Sens would have to win both. But yeah, I think it'd be great if that game on next Wednesday does not matter. So if you are going to go 3-1, then make sure that you just go the next 3. Yeah, Sean, like the tiebreaker puts them ahead, and again, I don't consider this talking about out of town scoreboard because I'm not talking about the results that are happening right now, even though I am seeing them. I'm just looking at the standings purely. The Sens have 92 points. They have the tiebreaker over Columbus locked up. They have the tiebreaker over Detroit locked up. They have the tiebreaker over the Islanders locked up. They do not have the tiebreaker locked up over Washington. However, they need fewer points to get clear of Washington because tonight is the game in hand that all these teams have on the Capitals. They've played one more game. They're at 89 points. And so, like I said, the Capitals can max out at 95 points if they win their last 3. I'm sure a few of these teams still play each other as I'm saying all of this. But anyway, it's a great spot to be. I'll put it that way. It's a great spot to be, especially leading going into the third period. I'd be a bit more nervous here. And like I said, if the Sens were losing or not looking good, then I talk about out of town scoreboard and what's going on in the results. But right now they're winning. I'm just focusing on what they need to do and how many points they need to eliminate each team. So they need to get to 98 points right now anyway. And that could change. That could change depending on some losses from other teams, right? They beat the Islanders on Saturday. That number changes. They don't need to get to 98. They need to get to another amount to eliminate the Islanders. It'll be fun, man. But it's crazy they're in this spot because even though it was so close, I thought that they'd still be kind of like right with this whole pack in that spot, but they've managed to separate themselves a bit. And even if some of these other teams win tonight, they're still separating themselves from everyone. They still have a 3-point gap with the tiebreaker, which is essentially a 4-point gap, which you need 2 games to get. You can't get that in one game. So with so few games left, the odds just get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer for the people chasing them. And it's the best spot to be in at this time of year. When everyone's chasing you, you've got a gap. We've seen that before. Jason saying, can we talk about Spence having 10 points in his last 12 games? Absolutely, we can talk about Jordan Spence. Are you kidding? Jordan Spence has been a revelation for the Ottawa Senators. And just another example, man, of Steve Staios and this pro scouting staff absolutely nailing it for acquisitions around the edges that help this team in the long run. Because obviously he came to fruition when the Sens were depleted on the blue line. They had no other option but to play Spence 30 minutes a night. So not only did he thrive there and have a bit of a coming out party, and we're like, wow, look at this Jordan Spence guy. What a pickup. But all season, I've loved Jordan Spence's game because he's been so comfortable with Tyler Clevin on that third pair. He's been so versatile, just kind of giving them good depth minutes. He's jumped up here and there when he had to. I've been so impressed with Jordan Spence. Should we talk Spence contract? Should we talk Jordan Spence contract? I would be down to do that. I'd be down to talk about that right now. We talked about Drake Batherson and Artem Zub a little bit. Let's talk contract for Jordan Spence. I don't know. I'm thinking my guess is around like a 3, 4, 5 year term. Like, I don't think you want to go longer than 5 years just because of, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not worth an 8-year deal or a 7-year deal. I think I'd do it at the right price, but with his age and everything, I think 4 years feels right for that kind of defenseman. And right around $5 million. I see some people saying 4.75. Someone says 4.4. I wouldn't hate that. Like, do you go higher than Artem Zub? Are you comfortable going higher than Artem Zub at 4.6, knowing Zub's got an extension coming? Seeing some people saying 6 million. I think the sweet spot for the Sens would be around 4.5 to 5 million. I'd be really comfortable with that. And also, you think about for Spence, he's making 1.5 right now. Good chance this is his biggest contract or one of his biggest. I think you take that raise. That's a really good raise for a player of Jordan Spence's caliber. But it's interesting. Like, I could see them being okay with giving him closer to 6 maybe if they had to, with the cap going up and with their flexibility with the salary cap. I think 4 or 5. Now, the contract to me is going to depend on a couple things. How soon do they want Yakimchuk to be ready? Because you guys know me, big Carter Yakimchuk fan, huge Carter Yakimchuk fan. And I still am, and that hasn't changed. However, with the emergence of Jordan Spence, with Zub back, obviously healthy, and he'll be back next season, I wonder where Yak's fit is going to be and how soon will that fit happen? Because I'm not sure if he's going to be your prototypical third pairing guy. We know that Spence can play with Clevin on that pair. Can Yakimchuk, if he comes up? Does he squeeze out Matt and Paolo next season? Like, there's all these factors. Does Lassie Thompson have a say? Because he's looked awesome, I think. Like, there's a bit of a logjam on the right side all of a sudden. Sean, I agree. I think Jensen is gone no matter what. So I think and again, I'm not trying to say right now that Yakimchuk's better than any of those guys, but the plan, he's young, he's the youngest, he's their top prospect, and they like him. The plan is to have him around long term. I just wonder what their plan is for him next season. So Jordan Spence, to me, I think is a part of this team's future all of a sudden. Awesome trade by Steve Stais once again. And here's a nice donation here from Swanky Pants. Appreciate it, man. Cheers, Jack. There's no way, Richardson. I'm going late, so hopefully this hasn't been overdone. But can we talk about how the Sens have one of the filthiest fourth lines, man? Fourth lines now, you rock, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Let's talk about it. The fourth line, which has contributed tonight, Fabian Zetterlund has the second goal, has been great tonight. And I just think that they're going to be an X factor for me going forward here. If the Sens are able to clinch a spot, they're going to be a line I'm looking at in a playoff series as, can you go give us that shift? Can you go give us that extra energy in a game the Sens might not have their legs? And I've liked them a lot tonight, so I really like it. I know people want Fogle to go up on that top line with Timmy. I just think it's too late in the year to be trying something new like that. So I'm happy with that fourth line and appreciate the love there, Swanky Pants. So thank you, man. Much appreciated. And we're almost set here for period number 3. Let's change this out. 2-0, the Sens lead. Both goals came in the first period. Drake Batherson on an early power play. Zetterlund with a bit of an insurance goal later. And the Sens have 2 key points on the line here with a 2-0 lead going into the third period at home, ending a 5-game homestand. 5-game homestand. Crazy. A crazy stretch where they've played some very good opponents and had very good results. They're 3-1, looking to go 4-1 on it. Let's see what they are able to do. They got a packed house at the CTC. Our boots on the ground guy, Maleem's Martian, says that the crowd is electric. Good crowd in there. Didn't have a ton to cheer about in that second period, but that's okay. And I'll let you know when the puck is down. Appreciate everyone for joining us. Got for Hagee and Cousins on the faceoff. And the puck is down, and here we go. Third period action. Shots are 15-13 Ottawa. 2-goal lead. Ullmark makes a save. Sens definitely did not have a strong second period by their own standards. Looking to change that up, I bet, here. The Panthers ice it. Got Sanderson out there, offensive zone draw. They win it. Zub's got it. Down to Giroux. Top line's out there now. Giroux battling through some contact. Here's Zub with a lot of space. Goes wide. Timmy up high. Bobrovsky stops that. Couple shots there for the Sens. And there's the next game, Saturday at 1 p.m. Love a good matinee. Love a matinee game. I'm sure if the Sens make it, we'll see a couple of those on the schedule. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Greg goes in for the face-off. The Panthers get kicked out, just refusing to drop the puck here. And Greg loses it. Good back check there from Tkachuk. Spence moves it up the wall. And the Panthers are on it. Still just 2-0. Lassie Thompson's got it behind the net. Up for Pinto. Dumps it deep. Nick Cousins going on the forecheck. Sens just get closed off, and here come the Panthers. The Panthers are doing a good job nullifying the forecheck tonight. Or at least in the second two periods. That one's bouncing right to Ullmark. He makes a save. Just a 2-goal lead Sens are kind of hanging on to here. Need a bit of insurance, I think. Good play by Thompson. Zetterlund's got it in the middle. And Fogel goes after the forecheck. Fourth line's been the only one to be able to get in there on the forecheck so far. Eller with a backhand into a crowd. Bobrovsky's got it. Really liking the fourth line today. I think they need some more shifts. Green likes to roll the lines at the best on 5-on-5. Like just go one after the other, but I think the fourth line has earned a few more minutes here. Battling hard. Harder than any other line right now, I think. They're creating offensive zone faceoffs, for the other guys. I don't know if there's a stat that could track that, but here's Sanderson. Gets deflected out of play. Sanderson again at the point. Zub. That goes high. Cousins back to Sanderson. High and wide. Zub again. He scores! Artem Zub! All right, man. Here we go. That's just some good, good pressure. Nothing crazy. And you know what? Credit the fourth line on that goal. They set up that face-off with their work. They're the only one pushing, and it results in a goal for another line. Good for the fourth line, and great job by Zub getting in a scoring opportunity. I think Sanderson will get an assist on that. Dylan Cousins will get an assist on that. Artem Zub just off the post and in. We got a 3-0 game. That's top pairing Artem Zub to you, actually. Zub. His 5th of the season. And that's a big insurance goal. That's just a clean, on the puck first, good matchup type of insurance goal for the Ottawa Senators. And they keep coming. Next shift. Shabbat's got it. Spence. That goes just wide. Timmy has it knocked off his stick. Spence in the middle. Batherson. Over to Giroux. Good pressure here from the top line. Spence. No one was home. Giroux went for a change. Here's Amadio in. Oh, tried to go around Bobrovsky. That was a slick try by Amadio. Good couple response shifts. This is what you need to see. This is what we're used to seeing in these last few games in the third period. They get an early goal and they just keep coming. That might be a penalty. Nope, not calling that one. Thompson got a stick in there, but they're letting that go. Shout out the fourth line, man. They've had the energy all night. They set up that Zub goal. They weren't on the ice for it, and they won't get any credit whatsoever, but they earn a face-off in the O-zone. The other line takes advantage, and it's a 3-goal game. Zub is 29 points, and he's plus 17. It's both career highs, according to TSN. Good forecheck by Foegele. Eller's on it now, and here goes the fourth line again. Foegele up to Sanderson. Bounces to the net. That comes out. There's the goal scorer, Artem Zub. Another good shift from line 4. Bouncing puck in front. Spence to Kachuk. Great O-zone pressure here. Brady up top. Well, that just goes through. Kachuk wired that one. $13:30 left. 3-goal lead. Sens are kind of just cycling it in their own end right now. Giroux gets it out. Timmy's on it. Bobrovsky's got it, though. Zub dumps it in for the top line to go to work. Madio with another good stick. It was a good chance for the Panthers if they wanted it. 3-0 Sens lead. Happy to let this clock just tick, tick, tick down. Nick Cousins up top gets that blocked. They really like the little bumper play up top where a forward comes and helps out as an option in the middle. It's hard to defend when you do that on the cycle. Long time between whistles here. Batherson, Zetterlund, and Zub on the board. 3-0 Sens lead. And here comes the fourth line again. Some pressure here for Florida. Goes wide. Martin Paolo just flips it up. Nothing dangerous there for the Panthers. Chabot now in the corner. Gets blocked. Brady's got it in the defensive zone up to Ridley Gregg. He's on it behind the net. Nice save by Olmark. That was a good chance. I don't know who number 4 is on the Panthers. That's how injured they are. Not too sure what his name is. Should check that, actually. It's really bad. Feel bad for that guy. No disrespect intended. That is Ulsher. Ulsher? Not too sure. Stotla does not have an assist so far today. The scoring right now has been Batherson from Sanderson and Kachuk, Zetterlund from Eller and Spence, and Zub from Sanderson and Cousins. So it's a 2-point night for Jake Sanderson so far, and both assists have come on him just shooting the puck. So, and I think Thomas Chabot looks good tonight too. He's not on the board for points, but I think he's skating very well, which again, he had a arm injury, so presumably he did not miss any time skating, but still great to see nonetheless that he looks that good. Didn't look like he skipped a beat, to be quite honest with you, and his presence alone, the minutes he eats, it's a huge development having him. Saturday is going to be a tough game. So it's been a good game so far for the Sens. Obviously, they're playing a very depleted opponent. But missed this earlier there, Jordan. And you're absolutely right. So appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up for us. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. There's the playoff odds. If they win in regulation, their odds go up to 94.4%. They're almost there. There's a chance, bit of a rebound for Olmark, but the Sens are there. Clear it out. 10 to go in this one. 3-goal lead, Ottawa. Here comes Giroux. To Amadio. Here's Sanderson. Zub shoots. That goes wide. Sanderson's got 2 points already tonight. Amadio with all kinds of time. Zub with tons of space. Bobrovsky saves that one. Look at these playoff odds since January 5th. They were as low as 9% on the 24th. And they climbed and they climbed and they climbed. Even on March 9th, the fact that at the deadline they were only 33%. It's crazy. And they dipped a couple, like last week when they lost those games to the Panthers and the Lightning. Those were big losses at the time. Giroux gets a good shot. Timmy, he misses the net. He's mad at himself about that one. Batherson behind the net. Lassie Thompson. Bobrovsky makes a save. Good pressure there from the Sens. What I was saying about Saturday is, like, I think that'll just be right back to a team that's just starving for points, right? And the Islanders, they're hungry. They're fighting for that Metro spot too, not just the one in the wild card for the Sens. And quite honestly, the Metro one could be closer in reach to them. So that's going to be a playoff-like team. That's the new coach, Pete DeBoer, out of nowhere, firing their coach, which is crazy the other day. So this is his first game tonight, and his second one will be Saturday against the Sens. It's going to be a tough opponent. It's going to be a tough one to play. So Sens need to bring their best. And a win tonight again, like they just showed on TSN, the playoff odds improve again pretty dramatically with a win tonight. And they're up 3-0 here with 9 minutes to go. Absolutely dominating right now in this third period. The shots are 23-16. Not much to dislike with this team's game right now. They had a bit of a lull of a third period, or second period. Nothing broke, and now they just got to nurse this one home. Good forecheck there by Greg. Nice pass by Tkachuk. Here's Dylan Cousins. Try to backhand short side there. Good cycle by this line. To Cousins in front. Stopped by Bob. Nice play by Sanderson. This is a great third period. They're coming at them shift after shift. Panthers really haven't shown much of a push here. Here's Zetterlund with some space. Around the net. Oh, Vogel was right there. Nice save by Bobrovsky. Sens are all over them here. This is a good third period. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we wanted. Zetterlund's looking great tonight. I'm liking that fourth line. Starting to see why the Sens were minus 340 coming into tonight. Starting to click for me a little bit. What are we thinking in the chat here? Someone says they have 500 on Stutzla getting an assist. Oh man. How much better does this feel though that the Sens are the team everyone's chasing? So them winning is like a dagger to every team playing right now. Like if you're the Islanders or the Red Wings or the Flyers or the Blue Jackets, and you're like, you need points, you're desperate, it's a must-win game, and then you look at the out-of-town scoreboard and the Ottawa Senators are cruising to a victory here. Oh, it's a dagger, man. We had that all season until a couple weeks ago, really. Feels amazing. Feels amazing to be in this spot for the Sens, and they just got to enjoy it. And I think, honestly, the more I've thought about it, Swanky Pants, appreciate it again. Any guess how many other fourth liners in the NHL have 15 goals, 30 points? Are we talking about Fogle or Zetterlund? Does he have 15? Yeah, I don't know, man. They're a deep team. Hey, they're a deep team. Probably not that many. Probably not many. And the teams that do, they're good. They're a good team. But yeah, like when you're playing a must-win game, like you get a big win and you're like, oh, we got it. And then, Sens won again. And our odds got even slimmer. So I think for a while, I was saying in my head, I'm like, you know what? I don't want those games to matter for the Sens, and I don't want them to matter. But now with the cushion they've built, I think it's good that this game mattered and the weekend will matter a little bit. And, just with the way the math is working out here, that game against the Leafs won't matter unless if the Sens get a win this weekend. At least one, maybe two. So we'll break it all down on the postcast. We'll see how it's going. But it feels great. Shots are 10-3 in the third period here. The third periods have been very encouraging on this homestand. The one against Buffalo, the mini game was already over. The one against Carolina, one against Tampa, and this one have been excellent. Three 0 game, 5:45 left. Panthers come in though. And they score. That trickled through Ullmark. Just trickled through Ullmark. A little bit of life for the Panthers here late. There goes the shutout bid. It was just off the rush. So still enough time left in this one where they got to lock it down. Ullmark made the save and just squeaked through him. Wasn't sure where that puck was. Yeah, just squeaked right through him. All right, 3-1 game. It feels like this has happened in every game as well, where a late goal will go in when they're already up by a few. But just got to get back to it. 5:43 left. 2-goal lead. That'll be icing on the Sens with 5:30 left. Ullmark's been quiet in this third period. That was a bit of a shaky one against. Now they've got me sitting forward again. They're fine, right? They're fine. Pinto on the draw. He wins it. And Paolo gets it out. Nick Cousins has tons of time. Flips that out to Amadio. Just have to keep forechecking here. Giroux gets it deep. Timmy's on it. Got buried there. Oh, and Batherson couldn't get it deep. And here's Sam Bennett. He's got a lot of speed. He's on a breakaway. Nice save by Olmark. Backhand save. Off the pad. That was a good chance, man. Bad turnover from Drake Batherson. 4:15 to go. Still just a 2-goal game. There's a little tip in front. Olmark got it. All right. Little shaky, man. Little shaky. 4:05 left. Got to tighten up. TV timeout will do them well. That's a big save from Linus Olmark. Really, really big save. According to the LSP stats department, the Sens are 13-1 since 2022 when Artem Zub scores a goal. That's crazy. 13-1 when a depth defenseman gets a goal. Because obviously, like, there's something to the stat, like if, you know, when Stützle scores that they're going to do well, but also he scores so many that maybe not. The Pinto stat is obviously infamous from the stats department, but that's interesting. Artem Zub scoring. Interesting. That's right, Jason. He did start that comeback. That's not part of that stat, actually, but because that was before 2022. That was the COVID year. Got just over 4 minutes to play and a 2-goal lead here. I wonder when the Panthers will yank Bobrovsky. They got an offensive zone draw here. Giroux is on it. 4:05 to go. 3-1 Sens lead. Giroux wins it. Pinto flips it right out. Oh, the net's empty right now. Okay. That answers that question. Paul Marie said right now. So here we go. 6-on-5. Panthers need 2. Sanderson behind the net. Zub battling. Pinto's got it again. Gets it out to the point, but not out. That got tipped in front. That was close. Pinto's got it now. Flips it out. Ridley Gregg. Just missed. Doesn't quite hit the empty netter there. Nice play by Giroux. And he ices it. There we go, man. Great play in the middle from the veteran. Puts it in the empty net. And we got a 4-1 lead once again. Another empty netter for the Ottawa Senators. Great play. Right into the empty cage. 4-1 Sens. Beautiful. I wasn't nervous, but there were some close looks. Tidy win, 3:17 left, 4-1 game. Should all but wrap this one up. Penguins clinched a playoff spot tonight. Zetterlund's got it in the slot. Sens looking for more here. And Zetterlund scores. Little late stat pad there for Fabian Zetterlund. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. I said it to Pilsy. Do not let number 20 get hot. Don't let number 20 get hot. That's 5-1 Sens. Just went right through the 5-hole there. And that, you know what? That's a good reward. That 4th line was so good tonight. So good for Zetterlund. Not sure who got the assists on that one. See who else got some cookies. But now it's a 5-1 lead. We got another Danger Flutes night. That's going to be 3 wins in a row for the Sens. 4-1 on this homestand, man. Really impressive. And once again, just further solidify themselves in a playoff spot. I will now go through the out-of-town scoreboard because I'm not doing it in a panicked way. The Sens are winning this game. They will be at 94 points. So let's go through it here. Official. The Sabres are up 3-0 late on the Blue Jackets. Habs are beating the Lightning in the 3rd period. The Red Wings are beating the Flyers 5-2. And the Islanders beat the Leafs. So, honestly, not a great night, I'd say. Well, I don't know. The Islanders winning is not great, but the Blue Jackets losing and what looks like they're losing 3-0 here mid-3rd or late in the 3rd looks good. So, call that a trade-off. One of Philly or Detroit was going to win either way. Probably wanted Philly to win that one, but it's fine. And again, as the games tick down here and the Sens keep winning games, the less worried I become. Because now with this win, even though the Islanders won, they're going to be at 91 points. They're 3 points behind the Sens still. So that is a big game on Saturday. But if they win, they would jump the Flyers and not the Sens. So, or maybe not even. So we have a great deal of separation now from the pack, still from the pack, and it's more just about the games played at this point. It's more about games remaining and less about points. Teams still need 4, in some cases now 5. Or no, maybe not. I don't know. Teams need 4 points to catch the Sens. I'm confused. Everyone's confused. But there's 3 games left, and some teams need 2 games to catch the Sens. So this could be clinch weekend for the Ottawa Senators unless disaster strikes. I think if they get 3 points this weekend, I believe they would clinch. Work out the math so I don't sound like an idiot. But this was just a clean game. This was a clean game from the Ottawa Senators. I don't think they were at their best by any means, but they were playing a pretty weak team, which is, again, still crazy to say. It's going to be weird not seeing the Panthers in the spring later this month, but that's a big win. Wrapping up almost a perfect homestand, winning all your Eastern Conference matchups. Guys look solid. The 4th line really came up big. Linus Ullmark was huge when he had to be. Let's not discredit that. Jake Sanderson has 2 points. Lots to like in this game, even though they weren't at their best. That wasn't as dominant of a game as we're used to, maybe, and they're still winning 5-1. Pretty good spot to be in. And they're sending these fans home happy. Second last regular season home game. Could be the last time they see this group before they go clinch a playoff spot. You just love to see it. Love to see it. So happy with this turnaround. Everyone's bought in. Great to see Thomas Chabot back in the lineup. Sanderson looks more comfortable game by game. Again, the fourth line was elite in this one. Ullmark, elite. Power play gets one early. Batherson continues his career season. Lots to like, folks. Lots to like in this one. That's going to do it. There's 16.6 seconds left. I'm going to wrap up here. Postcast is soon. Stay tuned. Appreciate everyone joining us. Sens win again, up to 94 points, and that magic number is down to 4, I believe. And again, we'll check that again, but they need 4 more points in their last 3 games to clinch a playoff spot. 9.7 seconds left now. Another save by Ullmark. I'll wait until it's officially over, and then I will wrap up. Would be crazy to end the stream when the game's still technically happening. Fans at the CTC on their feet, as they should be. And that'll do it. Sens avoid getting swept by the Florida Panthers in the season series. And a big win at home, move to 94 points and control their own fate once again. Put a bit more doubt in teams like Detroit and Columbus and the Islanders and the Capitals. You just can't catch the Sens. They also, notably, moved to 2 points back of the Boston Bruins. Let's keep an eye on that second or first wildcard spot. That's not out of the question yet either. All right, folks, that'll do it. Appreciate everyone for joining us. And we'll see you Saturday, but also stay tuned for the postcast. See you there as well. Thanks for tuning in. It's been the live watch party with the Locked On Senators podcast. It's your team every day. Sens win 5-1.